Okay, let's talk 48-volt solar. I know, setting up a full system can feel, well, pretty intimidating, right? But don't you worry. In this explainer, we are going to break it all down step by step and focus on doing it the right way, the safe way. So let's get into it. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at what a lot of other guides get wrong or just plain miss. Then, we'll hit the fundamentals, the basic science of it all. After that, we'll dig into the super important details of sizing your system, walk you through the exact wiring sequence, and then wrap up with some final safety checks you absolutely cannot skip. All right, section 1. Let's dive right in. The reason we're starting here is really important because a lot of the tutorials you see online, well, they mean well, but they often leave out some pretty huge safety issues. So take a look at this. On the left, you've got what you see in most online tutorials, right? Clean diagrams look simple. But the column on the right, that's the stuff that can actually get you into trouble. They often just gloss over the real risk of a DC arc flash, or what happens when your wires are too small, or where you should really be putting your fuses. You know, these aren't just minor details. These are the things that prevent fires, stop your gear from getting fried, and keep you from getting seriously hurt. Okay, that brings us to the fundamentals. And trust me, before you even think about touching a single wire, you absolutely have to understand the basic principles behind how all this stuff works. So the very first question you've got to ask yourself is this: series or parallel? How you choose to connect your panels and your batteries is one of the most fundamental decisions, and it completely changes your system's voltage and current. Think of a series connection like stacking Legos, one on top of the other. You connect the positive end of one panel to the negative end of the next one, and so on. So what's the bottom line? The voltage adds up. Two 24-volt panels in series, boom, you've got 48 volts. But the current, that's the flow of electricity, it stays the same as a single panel. Now, parallel is the total opposite. If series is stacking Legos up, parallel is like laying them side by side. You connect all the positives together and all the negatives together. It's like adding more lanes to a highway. So here, the voltage stays the same, but your current, your amps, adds up. More current means more power. All right, let's talk about the brain of your entire system. That's your charge controller. You can think of it as a super smart bodyguard for your batteries, which are probably the most expensive part of your setup. It takes that wild, unpredictable power from the sun and tames it, feeding your batteries just the right amount so they don't get overcharged and destroyed. And then we have the inverter. This is the magic piece of the puzzle. See, your batteries store power as DC, or direct current, but pretty much everything in your house, your lights, your TV, your coffee maker, runs on AC, alternating current. The inverter is the translator. It's the device that converts that DC battery power into the AC power your house can actually use. Okay, so now that we've got the basic building blocks down, let's get into something that is so often overlooked, but is absolutely critical for safety and for making sure your system actually works well. We're talking about sizing your components. So how do you actually size your wires and fuses? And I mean for real-world safety. This isn't a guessing game, you know. You can't just pick a wire because it looks thick enough. Getting this wrong is, well, it's how fires start, and it's how you lose a ton of that precious power you're generating. Okay, don't let the formulas scare you. They're actually pretty simple, and they are your best friends for safety. For your fuse, you just take your maximum expected current and multiply it by 1.25. That gives you a nice safety buffer so it doesn't blow unnecessarily, but it will blow before a dangerous amount of current can start a fire. For the cables, that formula there basically makes sure your wires are thick enough so you're not wasting power as heat. A properly sized wire is efficient and safe. All right, now for the fun part, the part you've probably been waiting for. We're going to walk through the actual step-by-step wiring process. And listen, the order you do this in matters a lot. So let's go. Step 1. We start at the source, your solar panels. You're going to connect them in series to build up that 48-volt level we're aiming for. Now, if you've got more than one string of panels, you have to use a combiner box. It's not optional. Think of it as a safe meeting point for all the wires, with a fuse for each string. Once that's done, you run the main lines from the panels down to the input of your charge controller. Okay, I'm going to stop everything right here for a second, because this is so important. Before you go any further, check your polarity. Seriously, red to red, black to black. Get this wrong for even a split second and you can literally fry your expensive gear. Poof, gone. So double check, then triple check. All right, with that very important warning out of the way, let's move on to the battery bank. You'll wire your batteries up in series to get to 48 volts. Now, from here, the power goes two places. One set of wires goes to the charge controller so the batteries can be charged, and another set goes to your inverter to provide power. And this is non-negotiable. You need a big old DC breaker or a fuse on that positive line going to the inverter. We are in the home stretch now. The last big steps are all about locking in the safety. You've got to ground everything. The frames of your solar panels, the metal chassis of your controller and inverter. This is for shock protection. And just before you power anything on, gloves on, safety glasses on. Do one final walkthrough, eyeball every single connection. Take your time. Okay, that brings us to our last section, and honestly, it might be the most important one. Let's just do a quick rundown of the biggest dangers to really hammer home that safety-first mindset. This stuff is no joke. So these are the big 5. These are the classic mistakes that can turn a fun DIY project into a total disaster. We've talked about most of these, but I really want you to pay attention to that DC arc flash. This is not a little spark like you get from a car battery. It's a violent, dangerous explosion of energy that can happen if you try to connect or disconnect a live wire. It's incredibly dangerous. I want you to read this and really let it sink in. People hear 48 volts and think it's low voltage, so it's safe. Wrong. It's the high current that can get you. It can create an arc flash. That's like a small explosion right in front of your face. So the golden rule, the number 1 rule, never connect or disconnect wires when the system is live. Always, always kill the power at the breakers first. So I'm going to leave you with one final question. Picture this. Your system is all connected. Your tools are put away. You're standing there ready to flip the switch and bring it to life. What's the very first safety check you're going to make in that moment? Seriously, think about it, because knowing the answer to that question might be the most important part of this whole process.